All right, so our next film is one that you just recently saw, and I had seen like quite a while back.
You didn't rewatch it?
No, we actually did rewatch it.
Oh, good. It's
lately.
killer. Yeah, it's surprising too because like I'm probably making a mistake, but I am going to go back and buy the other Final Destination just so I can see it.
Probably.
Because this one impressed the hell out of me. I mean, this is like easily, I say no question, the best Final Destination movie since at least the second movie, probably since the first one.
Yeah. Let me ask you though. When you were watching this, did you, because me and Jess were watching it a couple nights ago, and we were like, that opening like scene of all the shit being thrown at the glass reminds me so much of the Friday the 13th 3 opening credits.
Yeah.
And I guess it
They do that a lot, though. That's not just,
the whole 3D thing.
Yeah. And like, there's only a couple of scenes in the movie itself where I would even known that it was a 3D movie, is the thing. Like, a lot of times when these movies come out, that were, 3D in the theaters, 95, probably more than that, 97, 98% of the audience don't have a 3D Blu-ray player. That shit's pretty much already gone the way of the dodo, Uncle Bill.
It's gone the way of
the dodo bird.
Betamax and ColecoVision.
It's gone the way of Sasquatch. Sasquatch is extinct.
So,
but yeah, I mean, so you're in fear that, okay, I'm not going to get that experience. But with this one, I can honestly say, like, I loved the movie. I thought that the 3D aspects, like, I didn't even notice it really until kind of like the opening, closing credits.
Well, I think the only thing that they really built the 3D on, but that still works really, really well without it, but the big centerpiece for the 3D was the opening scene. Like, that was the only thing that could really benefit from 3D in this movie.
Well, then it seemed like the closing segment, too, they made, like, the extra 3D shit just flying at you and stuff as you're seeing, like, what was it, AC/DC song that was at the end? I think it's Problem Child or something like that they were playing.
Was it?
I think it was, yeah. They were playing, like, some of the best of death scenes of all the Final Destination movies. But anyway,
was it If You Want Blood?
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Yeah, I think it was.
Anyway, it was Bon Scott, AC/DC. They all kind of sound the same.
Buddy,
How do you know it? I like AC/DC too. They all sound the same. Especially the Bon Scott air. All that shit sounds exactly the same.
I don't want to hear it.
So anyway.
Yeah, so tell the plot of this one, though. Because all of them have a centerpiece that they're based around, like an accident.
Right.
The first one was the plane. The second one was the car crash pileup. This one is a bridge sequence in the film. Like so in the beginning of the film, all the people are together. They're getting ready to go on like a job training kind of thing,
right?
A retreat, so to speak. And they're all on a van on this giant bridge. The bridge collapses. Huge production, huge. The bridge collapse and all this.
Yeah, that was surprising too, because like you would think like the fifth movie in a franchise, like I don't even remember the last one even doing that well at the box office at all.
I don't.
Maybe it did.
I don't know if it did or not. Really, the last one was the race car one, which I thought was stupid.
I never did even see that. So,
but anyway, so of course it's the same story though. The guy foresees that it's going to happen, and then gets everybody off, and then they all get picked off. Like all of his friends start getting killed one by one. I was sitting there trying to figure out what is it about this movie that made it so much better than all the rest of them that used the same formula, basically the same plot and everything else.
I think though, like the difference is that I noticed, and maybe like I just haven't seen the other movies in such a long time. They kept it at a pretty much nonstop pace with killings of their coworkers and stuff throughout the movie. Like much like the first movie, they developed the characters. You knew who was was the dorky, money grubbing. I'm not even gonna say that. Was always into the women and stuff like that, and how he dies. And they made every death relatable to that person, like what they were about, which was what the first one did. And then, like throughout the other movies, like I need to go back and watch part 2. I haven't seen it in forever. But, like, I remember, like, 3 was definitely like that. Where, like, it was just, they would just kill fucking people. They didn't have to be, it wasn't about anything, you know.
I think that they made it fun again, though. That was the biggest thing that I could figure out. Was with the third and the fourth one, it was almost like, yeah, they cashed in on it, and they just set up people to get killed, but it wasn't fun. It was like watching somebody put together a mousetrap or something, you know, like one thing led to another thing, which led to another thing, which you knew was going to happen, and there wasn't anything about it that was surprising. But in this one, the whole
and another thing too, and we shouldn't give it away. And I noticed this. I did notice, and there was only one time when I noticed that this was. We've got to give it away to even talk about it, though. Kind of.
You shouldn't give it away.
Well, spoiler. Okay,
Yeah,
if you do not want to,
if you haven't seen it yet,
turn it off for about 30 seconds. Final Destination 5 is a prequel. Okay, that's what they don't tell you. This movie took place right before the first movie, and the only time I, noticed that thinking back is you see one of their cell phones. It's one of the bigger flip cell phones. They did a really good job at like keeping that undercover. So I just wanted to mention that.
Well, the other thing was I wouldn't even notice this if Jess didn't bring it up, but like when you start to listen to all the music, it's all like music from that era. Like It all sounds like music from that era, and I never really paid attention to it. Like when you go back and watch it after you know that.
I think it's a little smarter than the other movies too. And I was surprised, man, that like this movie didn't get more praise when it came out in theaters because it didn't seem like too many people were really talking about it a lot.
Yeah, I mean everybody I've known that has seen it liked it. Everybody on the board and stuff. There wasn't anybody that I can recall that said that they didn't think it was a good.
And as far as the Blu-ray goes, I thought it looked great. Yeah, it was amazing looking. One weird thing about it is, though, that I thought was strange, but maybe that is because it wasn't really supposed to be a 3D movie or isn't really a 3D movie, is that they didn't release, like usually, I think they did release 2 different versions of this. One that actually just has the Blu-ray, but this one also has the DVD. But they didn't release the 3D version, which I figured maybe that's, like I was saying, that technology is just not catching on.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't weird. That wasn't even an option, But not really a whole lot of special features on this Blu-ray. I mean, there's special effects split screen features, which they talk about the collapsing bridge and the airplane crash, which again goes back to what we were saying before. Which I actually, spoiler again for the people still listening. What made that even more awesome, the ending, is I kind of was like, oh, holy shit, this would be cool if this was the plane, from the first movie, and surely enough it was.
Yeah, they really took you for a little ride with that, I thought.
And they have like it looks like they've got like a compilation of all the death scenes and stuff. They're calling it the Circle of Death, your final destination. So, it was only 92 minutes long. It was a really fun movie. I thought like the characters were really throwaway characters, but that's how this movie should be, because pretty much all of the people are probably going to die in it. I mean, it's how it's always been. In the Final Destination movies, nobody really survives.
That's the way it always was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, nobody survived.
It would be interesting if they just fucked around like somebody actually did survive.
You can't cheat death. Something else that's interesting, too. Tony Todd was in this.
He had a pretty big role in it, too. Like, bigger than the other one.
Some motherfuckers was really fucking like Tony Todd. Because that's like the only, movies that he's been in forever.
Hatchet.
Yeah, as I said, movies.
Oh, fuck.
Did Hatchet 2 come out this year? No, that was probably.
I saw him in another mainstream movie here recently, but I cannot remember what it was. I told you about me seeing Kim Foray in that fucking Water for Elephants. I was like, what?
That is bizarre.
He's in a movie with Reese Witherspoon. Like, I never fucking imagined that ever happening.
Yeah. Now he's going to start charging $30 or $40 for his autograph. It's like
should
special photos from Water Trail.
I should give him to sign that. It'd be awesome. Yeah.
He might sign something like that for free just because people probably never bring that shit.
You've got to see that movie just to see how bizarre that is.
Well, you said it was a pretty good movie.
It is, yeah. I really liked it.
Well, that was one that I could have actually got for like $7 in that Black Friday, the Blu-ray.
You would never think it would be great because it has Robert Pattinson in it, but it is.
And Reese Witherspoon, who I hate. Anyway,
yeah.
Final Destination 5. I say check it out.
Check it out now, bitches.
It is actually really good, and like I said, I probably won't regret it, but I can get the other Final Destination movie on Blu-ray for like $2 used, so I'm just gonna get it.
You ought not do that.
I will, boy. I will.
You ought not do that, you're just a boy.
So anyway, that is it for this week. Friday the 13th is next week, folks. So we will do some sort of Jason-related show. Since I think there was only one Friday the 13th last year. I don't even remember what the fuck we did for that.
Speaking of Friday the 13th, though, did you ever, this has been a few months ago, I actually found this band called Neil Bog. Did you ever watch any of their stuff?
Yeah, I think you sent me a link.
They've actually got a Friday the 13th. Neil Bog is like a live band that the only thing they cover is horror themes. And they've got a live version of the Friday the 13th 3 theme that they do at this, like, it's like a movie theater or something like that they're performing at. It's fucking unreal, like how good it is, too. It sounds exactly like it, and they're playing all the stuff live, like, in front of a crowd.
All it was pretty much the bass, and they had like some sort of...
It's synthesizer, bass, drums, like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they're playing anyway.
That's pretty cool. So check out Neil Bog.
Yeah, they got a Facebook page. It's killer.
Who doesn't have a fucking Facebook page?
That's true. The whole band, though, does.
Ballabog has a Facebook page. The Dark Lord.
I forgot about Ballabog.